the biggest crypto exchange on the planet, the one you've probably traded on yourself, the one everybody knows. It just got kicked out of an entire continent, gone, locked out of the whole of Europe. And here's the part that gets me. It wasn't a hack. Nobody stole customer funds. There was no scandal blowing up that morning. Binance got shut out of Europe because it could not pass a background check. That's it. Listen to that again because it is a wild thing to happen. Now let me tell you why I'm the one walking you through this. For years I've worked as an anti-money laundering officer, a CAM certified MLRO, building the exact kind of compliance programs that regulators test for across Europe, Canada and beyond. And I'm based in Lithuania, which, and you'll see why this matters in a minute, sits right at the center of this whole story. So while everyone else was reading the headlines, I went and opened the filings. Let me show you what they actually say. Let me set this up for you because the mechanism here, it is the whole story. On the 1st of July 2026, this European law, MiCA, finally came into force for real. And MiCA has this one feature that changes the entire game. They call it the passport. And it's exactly what it sounds like. You get one license from any one of the 27 European Union countries, just one, and boom, you can operate in all of them. Think about how powerful that is. One approval, 27 markets. One door that opens 27. But now flip it around, because that's the terrifying part. If you get rejected, you don't lose one country. You lose all of them at once. One no, and every single door slams shut. So what does Binance do? Back in January, they go to Greece. They file there, betting that this one Greek license is going to unlock the whole of Europe for them. And on paper, that's smart. And then on the 24th of June, 6 days before the deadline, Binance pulls the application, withdraws it themselves. And why would they ever do that? Because word was the regulator was about to reject them and they would rather walk away than have that no sitting on the record. So just sit with that question for a second. Why would the biggest exchange on earth with all that money, all those lawyers, run for the exit rather than let one regulator say the word no? That right there is the real story. Let me show you. So here's what people get completely wrong about MiCA. They think it's some soft, light touch, crypto-friendly rule book. It is not. It's brutal. It asks the same questions a serious bank regulator asks. Who owns you? Who really controls you? And what have you done before? And right at the heart of it, there's this one test. It's called fit and proper. And I've written these assessments with my own hands. So let me make it simple for you. Fit and proper just asks, are the people running this company actually suitable to run it? Notice what it doesn't ask. It doesn't ask, are you big? It doesn't ask, are you profitable? It asks one thing, can you be trusted? And that is exactly the wall Binance walked into. Because no amount of money fixes this next part. Go back to 2023. Binance pleads guilty in the United States to breaking anti-money laundering law. $4.3 billion in penalties. $4.3 billion. And the founder himself pleads guilty to a criminal charge and serves time in prison. So now fast forward. European regulators sit down, they open the file, they run their background check, and all of that history is just sitting there, staring back at them. It didn't disappear. It's right in the middle of the page. And trust me, having sat on the side that has to answer to these regulators, that is not a page you can talk your way past. And here's the detail that nobody, and I mean nobody, reported. That Greek application, it wasn't just Greece looking at it, it was 3 regulators together. Greece, Ireland and Latvia reviewing it jointly. Hold on to that. Greece, Ireland, Latvia. It's going to come back at the end and it's going to matter. Okay, now let me pull this out of the news, off the abstract level, and show you what it actually looks like on the ground. One company, one country. And this country, Lithuania, is the market I actually work in, so this one is personal. In Lithuania, Binance operated through its payments arm, a company called Bifinity, and Bifinity's own public filings, the ones anybody can look up. They tell a story that is more dramatic than any headline I've read on this whole thing. So look at the revenue with me. 2022, Bifinity pulls in 456 million euros. 456 million. And then watch what happens. 2023, it drops to 230. 2024, 123. 2025, 90. That is an 80% collapse. And here's what matters. That's all before Mika's deadline even arrives. This giant was already bleeding out. But now watch this, because this is the detail you only catch if you actually read the financial statements and not just the headlines. As the revenue is falling off a cliff, the tax it pays is going up. 9 million, then 27, then 31 million. How does that even happen? Because they're winding the whole thing down and squeezing every last drop of profit out on the way. The margin climbs to 73% as they head for the door. This is a company being quietly harvested. And then 2026 shows up, and that staircase we were walking down, it turns into a cliff. You ready for this? The tax Bifinity paid in the first 5 months of 2026, 244 euros. 244. From 31 million down to basically nothing. But you want the number that actually gives me chills? Forget the money for a second. Look at the people. October 2025, 15 employees, then 13, 10, 9, 7, 4, 3, 2, and by June 2026, 1. One single insured employee. A company that was moving hundreds of millions of euros, gone down to one human being in 8 months. 8 months. That right there is what a regulatory cliff edge looks like when you zoom all the way in and actually stand right next to it. And I'm standing right next to it because this is my market. And here's the thing you have to understand. Binance is not some freak exception here. This is the part everybody's missing. Rewind a little. Before Mika, Lithuania alone had around 900 registered crypto firms. 900. Then the rules tighten, and suddenly fewer than 400 are left. Now zoom out to all of Europe. More than 1700 firms used to operate under the old national rules. After the 1st of July, around 250 are still standing with an actual Mika license. So roughly 3 out of every 4 gone. They just lost the right to serve European customers overnight. And where did everyone go? Somebody actually went and tracked over 300 of these Lithuanian firms. A handful got licensed. About 70 of them just packed up and relocated. Poland took the most. The rest scattered. Canada, Dubai, Cyprus. So let me tell you what Mika really did, because this is the whole thesis of this video. It did not ban crypto in Europe. Not even close. Like one lawyer put it really well, Europe didn't get easier. Europe got legible. Mika is a filter, and it filters for exactly one thing: who took compliance seriously and who was just winging it. Because look who sailed straight through. Coinbase, licensed in Luxembourg, Kraken in Ireland, OKX in Malta, Bitpanda and Bybit both in Austria. Every one of them passed the exact same test that the biggest exchange in the entire world could not. So say it with me. Mika does not reward scale, it rewards structure. So where does all of this leave us right now, today? Let me clear up the confusion, because almost every video you'll find on this gets it wrong. If you're sitting in Europe with money on Binance, first relax. Your funds are not frozen. Nobody seized anything. You can withdraw, you can sell and get out. That part is completely fine. What you cannot do anymore is open new trades, deposit fresh money, or use their staking products. So it's a wind down. It is not whatever the panic post told you, some lockdown where your money is trapped. And Binance itself? Here's where everybody gives you the lazy answer. Oh, they'll just apply in France. They'll be back in a few months. No big deal. Do not buy that. They haven't even confirmed France. Word is, they've also been sniffing around Ireland and Latvia. And now you remember what I told you to hold on to? Greece, Ireland and Latvia. Those three reviewed the Greek application together. And those are the exact countries Binance is now thinking about running to. Which means the regulators there have already seen the concerns. They already talked. They already compared notes. And this is the whole point. This is the one thing I want you to walk away with. In a passport system, you cannot shop your way around a background check, because the regulators talk to each other. I have watched how closely they coordinate, and people underestimate it every single time. One door that opens 27, that also means one shared no. Binance's problem was never which country to pick. Its problem is governance and a founder with a criminal record. And there is no country on that map that you can passport your way to that makes that disappear. Now, in fairness, and I always want to give you the other side, Binance does have an argument here. Their founder basically said, look, Europe is cutting its own people off from the deepest, best liquidity in the world, and that liquidity is the real consumer protection. And here's my honest answer to that, as someone who builds these programs for a living and has to answer to these regulators when they come knocking. In a regulated market, access is not priced in liquidity, it's priced in trust. Europe looked at the single biggest player in the entire game and made a decision that being the biggest is not the same thing as being the safest, and they were willing to lose that liquidity to make the point. And you know what? The money is already voting. In just the first few days after the deadline, hundreds of millions of dollars walked straight out of Binance and into the licensed exchanges that actually did the work. The ones who cut corners are handing their customers to the ones who didn't in real time, right now. And if you think this is the end of it, I promise you it is not. This was only phase 1. MiCA was just the first gate. Next comes a Europe-wide anti-money laundering regime with a brand new authority whose entire job is enforcement, a harder bar, and the same firms that couldn't even clear this gate, they are about to walk straight into the next one. And that is squarely the world I live in. That's the video I'm making next. I'm Naeem Sajjad, and I break down crypto from the one seat most channels can't, the compliance seat, the person who actually has to keep this stuff legal. If that's the perspective you've been missing, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.